Friends, we have huge news coming out of California. You've probably heard some of this. We got the latest here. We got multiple huge, out of control, 0% contained fires. We got fire hydrants running dry. We got fire departments overwhelmed as whole city sections are ablaze. Already the most destructive fire in LA city history. Hollywood is under threat. We have the latest here. Our hearts go out to those who are affected, and our prayers are with them. Welcome to this special edition of the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and we have the facts here to get you up to date and to keep you ahead of the crowd. We need to get this out to you right away. So here are the latest facts that we have on the ground. Massive uncontained wildfires. They're tearing through Los Angeles, California. This is not just one fire, it's multiple fires, and they're being driven by 85 to 100 mile per hour wind. We warned about this on Tuesday, about the wind. We were talking about power lines and stuff like that. Well, these wildfires could have been triggered by power lines getting knocked over, but the simple fact is that once we have the fires going, these things are raging infernos, and they're being driven by these super high winds. It's bone dry there, and we're seeing whole developments, whole areas of the city just going up in flames. Already up to 20 acres of Hollywood Hills already burned, and the fire fast approaching the Hollywood Boulevard down there. Now, by the time that this video hits the airwaves, Hollywood could be toast. So if you're anywhere in that area, hopefully you're paying attention to where the fires are and you're listening acutely for evacuation orders. Already thousands of buildings and homes have been burned, with whole neighborhoods leveled. About 80,000 people evacuated so far, and that number continues to climb every hour. And, in times like this, it's important to see how communities come together, and Los Angeles residents are even now coming together to loot the destroyed homes. Yes, prompting numerous firefighter calls for police to come and stop looters as the houses are still smoking, still smoldering, people breaking into homes and trying to steal anything not nailed down, which is just... I don't know what I would expect from Los Angeles, but this might just somehow be it. It's, I guess, exactly what I expect from Los Angeles. Way to sink to the lowest caricature of your own city. We're looking at you perpetrators. And just wait till we get to the dry fire hydrants, friends. It's absolutely insane. Unfortunately, in this crisis, much of Los Angeles's fire equipment, surplus fire equipment, that is now currently necessary and needed, is actually over in Ukraine. And the mayor of the city in Africa. Now, she's on her way back now, and you may hear that and say, Steve, why is there firefighting equipment in Ukraine, and why is there mayor in Africa? I mean, given that Los Angeles has the one of the highest rates of homelessness in the country, and one of the highest crime rates in the country, as well as one of the highest overdose rates in the country, you'd think that maybe she would be hosting round-the-clock emergency sessions in the city. But no, she's spending city money to spread diversity and equity and stuff like that over in Africa. So on the taxpayers' dime. Yeah. Now, to fund that type of trip with their whole caravan and everything like that, as if she's the president of the United States, they decided to cut the fire department by $18 million this year. So I'm sure we're not regretting that decision right about now. Oh, and she also tried to eliminate a whole bunch of jobs over at the Los Angeles Emergency Management Department. She wanted to fire a bunch of people over there. The people that are, organizing the defense of homes right now. Millions of dollars of firefighting equipment was sent to Ukraine months ago. Equipment such as fire hoses, nozzles, helmets, armor, and other protective gear. California as a whole has sent them numerous fire trucks and ambulances, which would be really helpful to have right about now. If you think these people are looking out for Americans, you got another thing coming. These people are absolutely all about just going along with whatever narrative is happening at the present moment. And now that we see Americans in danger, we see that they've stripped the emergency resources from the United States and shipped it overseas. And, this equipment would have been, direly needed right now. Well, maybe not the hoses and the fire nozzles because there's no water. But more on that in just a moment. Steve, that sounds like a really big point. Oh, it is, but it comes with a story. History and decisions in politics. Anyway, amazingly, it took President Biden less than 10 hours to respond to the wildfires in Hollywood. Which I don't know if you're familiar with the map. I know all my regulars are. So you know that Hollywood's in California, right? And the president spends most of his time in Delaware and occasionally in Washington, D.C. It took him 5 days to get to North Carolina with the Hurricane Helene response. More people impacted by that and a lot more devastation with that. It took him 5 days to get to North Carolina, but 10 hours to get to all the way across the country to California. Some might just say, Steve, that sounds like you're criticizing. Yes, it is. Why does it take 5 times longer to go 5 times shorter of a distance? I don't know. I guess you could say where there's a rich party donor, there's a way. Am I right? Am I right? All right. You got to laugh, friends, or you cry. Right? A lot of people have run into first responders and soldiers who have gallows humor, and that's really where it comes from. It's either you laugh about it or you cry about it, and you can't take it all on. You gotta lighten it up sometimes, And the corruption in our government, sometimes you just gotta laugh about it, and it doesn't mean that we don't take it seriously. It just means that we can't do psychological damage to ourselves, right? Speaking of money, money. Too bad FEMA is out of money. But Biden is focused on ramming another disaster relief package. No, actually an aid package and weapons package for Ukraine. So no disaster relief money, just another weapons package for Ukraine. So he's got a few hours left and he's got to put priorities first, And in all of this, let's not get into how the LA Fire Department is headed by a woke female diversity activist by the name of Kristen M. Crowley. Now, let me read this little bit from her blurb on the site of the fire department. She, along with her wife and children, with her wife and children, so that should kind of give you a little bit of a clue of where she's coming from on some of this stuff. But they've had diversity quotas on the fire department for years and years now, which, being Los Angeles, probably doesn't surprise you. But if you wonder why the fire department can't hold the fire hoses, that might be why. But once again, the fire hoses don't have any water in them, so maybe it's a moot point. Maybe they're just going to show up at the fires and just kind of report on them, sort of like how the police now show up after crimes to report the crimes and document them. All right. So, a gift from LA Mayor Karen Bass, who is currently in Africa, not California, and Gavin Newsom. No water in the fire hydrants. Well, there's a few choices that have led us to this moment, let's just say. And it involves fish. So brace yourselves for wanting to punch a wall somewhere nearby. So make sure you have something inexpensive to destroy just in case you get the urge in the next few moments. That's a fair warning. It's a trigger warning. So as firefighters have been trying to fight fires, like they've never seen before in Los Angeles, they're tapping fire hydrants and they're getting nothing. Why is that happening? Let's hear firsthand from the ground there. Janissa Quinones, chief engineer of the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, said the Palisades water system sustained 4 times its usual demand for 15 hours straight. That made it difficult to refill water tanks quickly enough to maintain water pressure. She said that, which in turn disrupted water supply to hydrants in the hills. According to the water department, crews trying to reroute the water at one point had to evacuate because of the fire's intensity. We have 3 large water tanks, they said, about 1 million gallons each. We ran out of water in the first tank around 4:45 p.m. the previous day. Yesterday, that was, it's already Thursday, isn't it? So that was on Tuesday afternoon, evening, right? Then we ran out of water on the second tank about 8:30 p.m. Tuesday. The third tank around 3 a.m. Wednesday morning. And so just started running out of water. That was at a news conference on Wednesday. Things have gotten more dire since. Something similar appears to be happening with the Eaton fire north of Pasadena. The New York Times reports a homeowner watched his historic home, built in 1887, burn down, saying the fire department was there, but they said they ran out of water. Not what you want to hear. The whole thing is made of wood, so it just went up like that. The fire chief admitted the problem. No water. Chief Chad Augustine of the Pasadena Fire Department said that fighting the Eaton fire had stretched water resources since dozens of fire engines were drawing water. And then suddenly they weren't. All right, so where did this come from? Turns out Gavin Newsom refused to allocate water to Los Angeles. They have to bring it in through water canals and stuff. Did they build in the infrastructure for burst use, like massive fires? Not so much. Let's hear Donald Trump explain this in a way that only he can. Governor Gavin Newsom, I'm just reading it, refused to sign the Water Restoration Declaration put before him that would have allowed millions of gallons of water from excess rain and snowmelt from the north to flow daily into many parts of California, including the areas that are currently burning in a virtually apocalyptic way. He wanted to protect an essentially worthless fish called a smelt. Yes, I told you, a fish. By giving it water. It didn't work. But they didn't care about the people of California. Now the ultimate price is being paid. I will demand that this incompetent governor allow beautiful, clean, fresh water to flow into California. He is to blame for this. On top of it all, no water for fire hydrants, no firefighting planes. A total disaster. Well, there you have it. Fish prioritized over people by the governor of California. And somehow the Democrats managed to still kill the fish. It's a California miracle. They sacrificed people in order to do something, and they managed to screw that up anyway. It's a political tradition in California, I think. Let's balance out this report with hearing from Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders says that this is due to climate change. You be the judge. And as a reminder, today is a National Day of Mourning for previous President Carter, who was, I will say, one of the most moral Democrats to be elected president in recent times. I know. I'm being generous, but you know, there were a few of them, and he was more moral than them, I think. So if you're wondering why the stock market's closed today, if you're wondering why banks may not be functioning today, that's why. Okay. Be sure today not to remember the Iranian hostage crisis or giving away of the Panama Canal, which cost thousands and thousands of American lives to build, a vast fortune from the United States government. And, well, we created the country of Panama just to create it. We wouldn't want to sully a politician's memory the way he did thousands and thousands of American workers who died on that project. All right, friends. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. We will do the afternoon report, which will be a regular update, but we wanted to preempt that to get this news out. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.